Okay, my name is Professor Gitgit, and I'm here to help you to get better, okay? Can you please tell me what you've been through this week so far? I watched a bear eaten alive by piranhas. What are we doing? These won't give count.
Help! Help!
Okay, well, I guess that's one way to get upstairs. Then we had a demon hunter whose presence felt like an extra affix to the key.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Okay, I know demon hunters have a no mover build, but I don't think it's meant to be taken literally. And we depleted a +2 Ara-kara. With 22 deaths at the end. Okay, so I think I know what the issue is here. You are suffering from Xelatath Feast Withdrawal. Ew, what? That makes no sense. That reaction confirms my diagnosis. Wait a minute, what even is this place? Hey! Welcome to the first episode of my Zero to Hero journey as Mistweaver Monk, where I'm going to heal my way up from 0 to 3000 rating. I hope you enjoyed this weird cringy intro showcasing the horrors that awaited me in this week's keys. In episode 0, where I showed you guys some week 1 shenanigans, I got up to 676, so that's where I'm going to start from. First, let's open our very first vault this season. The choice was pretty easy. I see tier, I take it. Next I picked up some weekly quests and hit the Ulduar time walking raid, so I can hit 2 birds with 1 stone for a heroic and champion cash. I didn't record the full run, but the first boss as per usual was pure suffering anyways, and I didn't get anything interesting apart from the Infinite Time River mount, finally! Yay! I'm super happy I got this at least. Unfortunately, I forgot to record what I got from the heroic cache, but I got boots from both boxes, so the champion reward was useless, but hey, at least it wasn't a cloak or a belt. Afterwards, I hit up some doves. Did you guys know, by the way, about these shortcut rooms that can spawn in doves? They are really cool, especially when they happen in an annoying delve like Excavation 9. Makes a delve a lot shorter. Anyways, the rewards were the following. A champion chest, which is useless because I have hero tier chest, a one-hand mace, haste mastery legs, and an interesting crit verse staff that has an extra effect that gives damage reduction, and a trinket that can proc versatility. Now I felt ready to dip my toes into Mythic Plus. Our first destination is Floodgate. This run started out pretty well, the trash packs went down nicely, and I wasn't struggling with healing much at all. Unfortunately, Blizzard changed some stuff around this dungeon, which came to bite us in the butt later. The first issue started happening after the first boss. Upstairs our tank died to the RPGG circles, but at the time I thought he just died to pure damage, so when he apologized afterwards, I said I'm sorry for not using an external on you sooner, but now I feel like I'm a fool after seeing how he died. The second boss was a healer's nightmare. These guys did not quite understood or cared on how to deal with the bombs, and we had at one point 2 blow up at once, and towards the end I even pinged a mage where to go, but he's just not moving. So that was quite frustrating, but this might have been his first time here, and it's just a +2 after all, so I can't be really mad. Yet. We almost vibed on the 3rd boss as the warlock and the tank went down almost together. This poor bear got crushed by the water harder than the tourist submarine that went after the Titanic a few years ago. After we defeated the last boss, we were not done yet. This is where things went a bit wild. This pack in the corner, goodness gracious, is the single worst pack in here. Not only they are casting constantly, but they are applying an overcharge to people. This is a dot that not only hurts, but also stuns you if it's not dispelled. With 5 electricians active at once, this was an absolute nightmare to deal with. I think low-key, if my revival didn't come off cooldown, which is not only a big group heal, but also dispels everything, we would have probably vibed here. Once we got through these, we were still not done yet. We were missing 0.5% trash, and the warlock had this genius idea to ping the water, but those piranhas don't give count, so our bear jumps in, and I really didn't want to follow him because I expected him to die immediately, but he didn't. So as soon as I jump in, he goes down in a blink. Well, at least I guess we released on top, so we could just quickly pull something and finish this key. I got nothing for my efforts in this dungeon, so let's just move on. Priory was next, which went surprisingly very well. There was one particular part where I was struggling a bit. The Paladin packs after the first boss throw down concentration a lot. I need to throw down my Jade Fire Stomp and stand in it, which felt impossible with this pack. I even got myself a new Ara-kara from Megaset, the Mummy of Mistweaver Monks, that looks like little minty Doritos to show if I'm standing in my stomp or not. This was especially annoying on Brawn Pike, where we had to constantly move. This run went so well that we 3-chested it with no deaths at all. Dawnbreaker +3 was next, and my god, this place is still buggy as hell. Take a look at this. First it looks like I fell through the ship, but I didn't. Then my stomp spawned not at my feet. What's up with that? The boss felt really hard to heal whenever Burning Shadows was cast. When I dispel this, it applies big healing absorb onto the group, and it felt like a bit tough to deal with, not gonna lie. But what sucks about it the most is that another one happens not long after I've dealt with the first one. I'll have to figure out something for these in the future, but I've dealt with them for now. Then we have this demon hunter in our group, who does the lowest damage I've ever seen in a War Within Mythic Plus key, and I wish I was exaggerating, but not even hitting 1 million DPS overall is crazy. Because of that, this whole run felt very slow, as if we were playing with like an extra affix. On the last boss, as it starts, he literally just went AFK. He stood still, didn't say a single word, and was not present in the fight for about a minute. Then in the second phase of the fight, he just stood still in the strands, putting them in a massively inconvenient spot. I was able to keep him alive in the first time around, but the second time he got the strand and the acid at the same time, so that was it. I'm going to sound mean, but I wish he didn't get combat res because he caused us more harm than good by not moving with anything. I looked him up after this run and it seems like he's a new player to WoW, so I felt bad for calling him an extra affix, but I didn't realize at the time. The tank said at the end, "Well played, healer," which I appreciated a lot because I'd really tried too hard keeping this group going, all things considered. I did an Ara-kara next, which was a deplete. Why, you might ask? Well, the first boss alone took us 4 entire minutes to kill with Bloodlust. The damage felt abysmal. On the second boss, the hunter went down, standing in the frontal. We have 2 combat treasures, so we could have recovered here, but the DK is just not doing it. Instead, he's standing kinda still, probably opening his spellbook trying to find it, and then he reses the hunter as we are viping, and in typical hunter brain fashion, he accepts the res when only the tank was alive, thus wasting a res completely. 22 deaths later, we finished this miserable key, out of time of course. I got legs, but I didn't need them. I ran this dungeon back on a 3 with a different group, and I had a rather embarrassing moment on the last boss. Uh-oh. Ah, shit. Oh my god, you can get knocked off here? Come on, fingers work here. Where is my cocoon, bro? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was something. But hey, at least we 2-chested this one. Then I went into an Ecodome Aldani. This dungeon went smooth like butter, like a criminal undercover. We had no deaths at all, or any problems, but unfortunately, I didn't get anything either. Halls of Atonement was next on the menu. The tank did a pretty big sized pull right at the beginning, but I felt a bit overwhelmed, mainly because I had no clue what to dispel. There were so many at once, I would assume the tank's debuff is some kind of damage increase taken, or armor reduction of some kind, but I don't think I understand the big red circle, because I let it expire a couple times and I don't see anything happening, so I wasn't sure. I'll have to read up on these for next time. This dungeon went pretty well though. The poor DK couldn't roll his wheelchair fast enough on the last boss, so he bit the concrete. Still no loot, by the way. The last dungeon I did was Tazavesh, Solia's Gambit. A dungeon I've never done before in my life because I took a break after Castle Nathria in Shadowlands. But for a moment I want to let you guys into my very disturbed and degenerative mind. Because as I'm watching back this footage, I couldn't help but notice the demon hunter's name. And it somehow reminded me of the female genitalia. But also, this guy's name kinda sounds like Pokemon. Bulbasaur, you squirt on peen toys. It was super effective. I understand if you're hovering over the unsubscribe button, but please don't. Told you my mind is disturbed. Why don't you tell me your favorite Pokemon instead? Just purely based on the anime, mine is Oshawott. Anyway, this dungeon is very confusing to me, to be honest. I have no idea why are we in Legion Stormheim all of a sudden, but at least I know on the first boss there is this intermission and I happened to see it on someone's stream what to do here, so I picked up the purple marker and ran with it to the top right where the console showed to go. The others were a little bit slower and confused, but we got there in time. The second boss takes place in BFA, and the boss is the recent mount we got from the Time Walking event. And it's a very messy boss fight. I can see that we are meant to be sort of close to the boss, so the tank can aim the frontal on the ads. But the fire all over the place is very annoying. I imagine this fight is going to really suck once Tyrannical is in play. On the last boss, we are back in Tazavesh for some reason, and there is this weird intermission where we have to draw a star. For some reason I cannot explain, the demon hunter sold us by dashing from his position to mine for some reason. Thus his side was unsoaked and messed us up. I don't know how he didn't see me, but I guess Vuvuzar is not the best Pokemon, huh? Luckily we didn't vibe to that, so we got the boss down. I got nothing once again. Well, that's it for this first week of the Season 3, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this first episode despite the cringy intro and the little degenerative mind trip. If you're still here, please give a video a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and you can become a channel member as well if you want to support me even further. As a token of appreciation, your name will appear at the end of every video. I thank you all very much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. I hope. Bye bye!